I decided to post a video on this just because I couldn't find a whole lot of useful information. I've got it reasonably well figured out. This is the timing chain tensioner on a Toyota motor, 1.8 liter. I believe it is a 2ZR-FE, if you look in the lower right of that. So basically put a used motor in this, and when I put the timing cover back together, had a leak from the crush gasket, which I should have known better. Getting this back up to timing marks, factory timing marks. Just keep rotating this around to where these are in place, and it's very difficult to show the factory mark on the crankshaft. Let me see if I can zoom in on, get that to where somebody can see that. Okay, you can kind of make that out, that orange colored mark there, and of course that's a 0 right beside it. So I'm on my marks. I've got my tensioner out. Let me show you what that looks like and how that needs to go into the timing cover. Okay, so here is the timing chain tensioner on this. This is in the compressed state. It's going to come out of the motor towards the rear, obviously. This hook has got to be in the up position, so if you're installing this again, it physically, I don't believe it will actually fit in that place in that way, but you might get somebody who can try and force it in place. It's just easier. Go ahead and put it up this way, fully depressed. What you're going to do in order to get that down, if it's all the way extended, is push this lever down. It's probably best to set it on something. Push this lever down, press this all the way down. This is kind of a trapeze act when you're doing it, and then as you're doing that, flip this up to the hook position, and then you're ready. The gasket for this, I'll show you that. It's a regular crush gasket. You can see it's got a raised lip there. That lip needs to be facing up. So when you install it on the tensioner, it needs to be in the up position. And the way that mine was originally on this timing cover here, because I was able to go back and just look, that little tab here is facing towards the passenger side of the vehicle. So that that facing towards the passenger side, the little lip of that in the up position. I'm going to go ahead and install this and try and show you the procedure for relieving the tension or placing tension on this side of the chain. So you have to actually rotate the motor backwards, which tightens this side. Right now all the slack is on this side, so that tightens this side, allowing enough tension to be let off of this hook for you to pull the hook out of the way. It's going to be difficult to show that in the car, but once the tension is off of this, you pull the hook out of the way, slowly rotate in the correct orientation for the motor, which would be clockwise. That's my dogs over there messing with a pot. And then that allows this to start extending and taking up the slack. Of course, you're doing all of this very slowly as you do it. So that gets all your tension back on this side, gets this all the way out as far as it will go before the oil pressure hits it and put some extra pressure behind it. But this won't retract because of the gear mechanism here, which is good. So I'll install this and then back it up. I might be able to hear some of the clunking sounds because I've done this once before, but I messed up with my gasket here. So anyway, I'll do that and come back. Okay, now the other one is installed. You pretty much can't see it from the top. You can just barely see the hook. Now down to the crankshaft. Gonna rotate this counterclockwise, which normal rotation is clockwise, so obviously we're going to go really, really slow here, trying to get the tension on the back side of that chain, and then release that hook, and then if I can show that, I'll show that. Okay, I think this might be helpful. I was able to rotate mine counterclockwise and find that at roughly this position right here, I'll try and zoom in so we can see that, at roughly 10 degrees advanced, where your mark would be for 10, is where I started hearing the oil pushing out of the timing chain tensioner, which can only mean that it's pushing in on that plunger. So now I should be able to release that. So you're not going to be turning this way far back here. You're just going to be turning just a little bit. So very small amount. I'm going to try and show where that hook is now and see if I can make that any easier for somebody else. Okay, that's the only angle with which I can find to see that hook. See if I can get it to. Okay, so tensioner, the chain on the right there. Wow, you can barely see that. Okay, had it figured. But basically, you're going to need a long hook in order to get down in there, and then you can see back out of here. You can see kind of the angle how I'm attacking that. It's not easy to see, so you want to get as much light as you can. So now the hook's back. I'm going to go ahead and move away from my 10 degrees mark here on the crank, which is horribly placed. Go ahead and move that, and I should hear some clicking as the plunger extends, so that I can verify that the tensioner is engaging with the chain. Okay, at this point, just turned it a little bit. Heard about 3 or 4 clicks. Obviously, there's more steps to that plunger than that, but verified my timing marks again, top and bottom. At this point, put it back together, let it run, see how it does. Hopefully that's helpful to somebody. If so, like, subscribe, send it on to somebody else if you can. Thanks.